way out of the dark. Many people that are graduates have not graduated. You have left school, but you are not yet educated. So, it's an opportunity for you to educate yourself. We all remember the story of how the children of Israel came out of captivity, right? You know, remember Daniel was about the captivity, and they spent time in captivity. Then one day, Daniel began to pray. And remember all the story of how the prince of Persia withheld all of that. But eventually the angel came to bring the blessing. But he said something. Daniel chapter 9 verse 2. Daniel chapter 9 and in verse 2. In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of years whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem. Now what happened here was that Jeremiah had prophesied that 70 years are determined upon thy people and all of that. But by this time, it was 70 years and they were still in captivity. Okay? And Daniel said, because of that I sought the face of the Lord. But he said, I understood by he that will not read will not be read. That was what someone said. It's not my words. I understood by books. If you don't read, you won't understand. Intelligence is not the same thing as knowledge. Intelligence is capacity to know. You don't know until you feed intelligence with information. There are many people that have the capacity, they are brilliant, they are intelligent, but they don't know because information is lacking. Daniel the prophet, you would have thought that everything Daniel knew, God told him. No. Daniel said, this part, God did not tell me. I understood by reading, by books. Then, based on what I understood by books, I went to God in prayer. Many of you have not gone to God in prayer because you have not understood by books. This is January, is about to end. Target, give yourself a target. How many books will I read this year? Quality books are designed to upgrade your brain, the capacity of your brain. What do you think happens when we go to school? As they teach and teach, our ability to understand more complex and dynamic subjects grow. If you don't go to school, you may not be growing in your brain. If you're not educating yourself, whether through a formal school system or an informal school system, you may not be growing. Hallelujah. Paul the Apostle writing in 1 Timothy 4 and 13, 1 Timothy chapter 4 and in verse 13. Don't forget, we're talking about your practices. I want everyone to develop a practice, a culture of reading. Paul wrote to Timothy, let's read it together. Everybody want to go? Timothy was a pastor under Paul. And Paul said, till I come, give attendance to reading. Reading is not the same as watching a movie. It's known generally that what you read, okay, even though what you see you retain more because it's visual, but what you read helps your mind to grow more than when you watch a movie. That's why reading is important. And even though Timothy was a pastor, Paul said to him, till I come, give attendance to reading. Last year when you didn't read, will this year also go without you reading? Pastor, I've graduated. Nobody ever graduates from learning. You must be a lifelong learner. And don't ever say you don't have books. If you have a salary, you must have books. You can say to yourself, I buy a minimum of a book a month. You can get books of 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira. Instead of Cold Stone, buy a book. Can I tell you something? A book has the capacity to astronomically multiply your income. Did you get that? Bought a book the other day, how it all started, and talks about a lot of companies and how they started. I subscribed recently to a service where I read about how over 1,000 startups started, how they gathered their idea, the ideation process, how they went about it, how they sourced for funds and things like that. See, if you have not read what I have read, we can't talk at the same level. So you want to upgrade. It's not just about laying off of hands, it's about reading. God has hidden his ideas in books. Read them. He said, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night. Do you understand that? I'm challenging you to read. If I hear you speak cheaply, I will know that you have not paid the price of reading. Let me tell you something. When you listen to a well-learned man, somebody who is reading, the structure of their words, the composition of their sentences will reflect that they are reading. Now, I am very emotional when it comes to writing and reading. There have been days when I read the structure of words, and just because of the way the person couched their statement, tears came out of my eyes. I'm like, wow. How many of you you've been like that before? Like, people can write. There are sometimes you see a movie and you look at the presentation of the script. They're not writing cheaply. You know that these people have read. How do you speak? Even when you speak Yoruba, it does not reflect quality thoughts. Because you don't read. Your practices, you don't need to read 5 books a day. Just 2 paragraphs, just 3 paragraphs. Consistently, you'll see how it affects the quality of your thinking. And before you know it, some people that know you will actually look at you and say, who said that? You say, I did. You? Okay. And you're wondering, what happened? Because what you just said, they have read about it too. And they can relate.